Welcome to 2024, the last year of America. I hate to be this pessimistic. I really do, but I have to be a realist as well. Came across this article here and I want to talk about it because these things could happen. We've seen some of these things happen in the past. Um, I have to be delicate on how I talk about this as well because we know the platform that I'm on right now. But let's just say the globalists, we all know, do not like Trump. We know that. They do not want Trump in office, and they will pull out all the stops. Biden and his ilk will pull out all the stops to try to prevent him from winning this 2024 election. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. Before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store. Also, check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for news as well. All right, let's talk about this news. Now, this comes from Emerald.tv from Emerald Robertson, her Substack, I believe this is. Um, she reports that I've had a nagging fear for more than a few months now that most Americans have their election math totally wrong. You know these people, you love these people. We're talking about your friends and family. The problem is not that they're stupid or disengaged or indifferent. The problem is they're living in the old America. The brutal truth is that many people are still mentally living in that vanished country where the rule of law exists, where your vote actually counts, where the FBI doesn't create a false flag operation on January 6th to stop investigations of some shenanigans that went on, and where major cities don't release violent criminals onto the streets without bail. They still don't fully grasp the truth. They're not actually residents. They're now actually residents of the banana republic of Biden. I mean, just look at everything that's going on right now. This is all by design. And these people are fully convinced that um, I can't say that. You guys know why I can't because of where I'm talking. But do you see the flaw in their plan? Sure, President Trump has the overwhelming support of the American people, but the Biden regime has everything else. They've got control of the CIA and the FBI. They have the NSA. They have DHS2 and the Pentagon. They've got the legacy media and most of the courts. And look how they're using all of this right now. Look at the lawfare that's going on right now against Donald Trump. The Democrats have kept an iron grip on the federal bureaucracy since before I was born, and the NGOs for most of my life. They've got Hollywood, they've got big tech, they've got the schools and the universities. Need I continue? Now, you have to be really honest with yourself which side controls um, the stuff. Again, I can't say that. Um, that's why America is heading. Um, that's why America is heading. Is headed for chaos. After all, if the voting stuff is some shenanigans going on, then how does it matter if your favorite candidate is leading in the polls right now? And that's the point that I've been making for a while now. I listened to Rick Wiles on True News, and Rick Wiles been basically saying the same thing. How can we trust the system, and if we know the system is rigged? I mean, they've rigged the system against us before. What makes you think they're not going to do it again? And that's a really fair point to make. That's what's so scary about all this. And look at all these illegals that he's allowing into this country. It's because they want their votes. They're going to give all of these people the right to vote. And we know historically illegal immigrants, when given the chance, vote Democrat. That's what this is about. But this assessment brings me to the central question: what's your plan B after the November election? What is your backup plan if you find yourself permanently exiled from the old America? The next 8 months of your life should be devoted to buying yourself insurance for a black swan event, such as the end of the republic. So here's Anna Pauline Luna. She said report from weaponization via House GOP is insane. So let's check this out here. Let's see here. Here we go. Oh, it's taking me to another site. Oh, it's taking me to Twitter. Bear with me a second while I wait on this to load up. Here we go. While this is loading, let me go back here. All right, here we go. Let's see. Sorry, bear with me. All right, here we go.
There's a report that's been put out by House Judiciary under weaponization. I'm going to attach it. I highly encourage you all to read it. But the dirty deeds that the FBI, along with Bank of America and a few other banks, have been doing. First of all, if you're with Bank of America, I highly suggest you move that bank. Okay, so following January 6th, Bank of America actually went through and handed over people's personal information that had used either a debit or a credit card in the Washington, D.C. area, even if you weren't at January 6th. Then they also proceeded to hand over bank transactions using debit card or credit cards of any firearm purchase, no matter when or where it occurred, to the FBI. Not just that though, if you've purchased religious texts, it doesn't matter if you're Christian, Muslim, or Jew, guess what? Domestic extremists. If you've shopped at a Cabela's, at a Dick's Sporting Goods, or at a Bass Pro Shop, they also flag that information. Bank transactions on Zelle. I mean, this is gross surveillance of the American people. And by the way, they are thinking now, what, over half of Americans are now domestic extremists or violent terrorists. This is crazy. There's a report that's been put out by House Judiciary.
That is your government.
I'm going to attach it. I highly encourage you all to read it. But the dirty deeds that the FBI...
That is your government. Surveilling you on your purchases, on everything. If just because you was around, because you were in D.C. on January 6th, and you were with Bank of America, they have all of your information. Why would you bank with places like that? You can't even trust. You have nothing. You had nothing to do with that. You just happen to be in D.C. during that day, and you bank with Bank of America, and you make a purchase at Dick's Sporting Goods or Cabela's and all these other places. That gives the government the right to look at your bank information. That's just ridiculous. And this is the Biden administration. This is the deep state. All of that. That's not just my opinion, by the way. It's the sober assessment of quite a few security analysis and ex-military types who've appeared on my television show in the last few years. Meanwhile, when your elected representatives in Congress like Anna Paulina Luna publicly admit on social media that America's secret police now consider ordinary GOP voters to be violent extremists and terrorists, then it's time to ask yourself, do you still think you're voting the Biden regime out of power in November? You think they're just going to allow that? That's why it's time to stop listening to any conservative media figure who tells you the Biden regime is stupid or incompetent. That's just happy talk to conceal how the GOP has ceased to exist as a political party in the last few years, and merge with the Democrats. We definitely seen that. Again, I'm kind of on the fence with that. I don't believe that Biden has all his faculties, but there's people behind Biden that is running the show. I keep calling it the Biden regime, the Biden administration, but I don't really think Biden is running things. Someone is controlling them. A lot of people believe that it's Obama. I don't know, but definitely the deep state is running the show. Michael Yon tweeted out, Emerald is right. Timing typically is very difficult to predict, but general trajectory. is center mass accurate. So allow me to make a prediction. The Biden regime is not going to give up power in 2024. So we'll see. She said, if I'm being really honest, it looks to me like the Biden regime is conducting a communist takeover of America, and it's doing just fine. After all, we are entering the 4th year of this coup. Okay, I can't mention any of that there. Y'all know why. I begin to have my doubts that the CIA and the FBI and DHS and DOD and about 10 million other contractors and agents and assets were still, on the side of the American people. I would argue that they are absolutely not. You don't hear many whistleblowers coming out and talking about all the corruption that's going on, because the good people that's behind the enemy line, are terrified, and they know they're being watched. They know if they come out and say anything, their family going to be targeted. It's going to be lawfare on them. So a lot of people that's actually in the deep state that are not evil are afraid to speak out against this. She goes on to say, and if that's true, then the next 8 months should be spent getting prepared. So yes, I want to vote in November, and yes, I want to prepare for the communist takeover of America when your vote won't matter anymore. I think I can say that. That might seem contradictory or incoherent, but it's basic strategy. You plan to win the battle, but you also plan for an orderly retreat so that you can survive to fight another day. That's true. No, I'm not being gloomy or hopeless. I'm not telling you to quit. I'm not encouraging you to stop voting. I'm telling you to get prepared, and that's why I love this article here, because I'm feel the same exact way that she's feeling. Pray for the best, but prepare for the worst, because we've seen what the deep state, what the Biden regime can do. Well, what does that really mean? It means you should get a satellite phone. You should buy more guns and ammo. You should stockpile medicine and water and food. Hold cash, hold gold and silver. Have an emergency plan with your friends and family. It's time to get serious. Remember, the billionaire Facebook grifter Mark Zuckerberg just built a huge underground bomb shelter in Hawaii for no apparent reason. That should tell you everything you need to know. You do realize that you're in the middle of a global conspiracy to end the democratic West, right? You've heard about the Great Reset, haven't you? You don't want to believe it's true, of course. That's why you keep ignoring the obvious signs. That's called magical thinking. That is. We talk about it in therapy a lot, this magical thinking. But we're already at the stage of the communist revolution in which 320 illegal aliens have been flown into the United States by the Biden regime to accompany your country and to eventually serve as soldiers and police who are loyal to the communists. That's exactly what it's about. We're already at the stage when the agents of the Biden regime are openly admitting that they will not allow Trump to hold the office again if he's elected. They did outright said that. They're telling you he should be denied classified briefings right now. I think that was Chuck Schumer that came out and said that. They're telling you that it's time to dissolve the Bill of Rights and the Constitution and order American soldiers to disarm the people. They will not allow a peaceful transition of power. I hope that I'm wrong, but what happens to you if I'm right? And I mean, facts. It's scary to think like this, but I've been thinking like this for months now, especially when I started seeing that there's been a big swing of Trump support, especially amongst Democrats now. So I think they would do whatever it takes to hold on to power. And I fear the outcome of 2024, the end of 2024. But let me know what you think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.